welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. My name is Zara Ali.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan.
And I am Fizza Dasani.
And today we have the hilarious and talented Nick Vatterott.
I'm Nick Vatterott.
Hi, Nick Vatterott.
All right, this is going to go well. He knows who he is.
Yeah,
Yay.
I write it down.
Do you feel secure in that, Nick?
I don't know. You know, I don't. This is just what they told me my name was. I don't,
Yeah.
it's just.
We just carry the identities our parents place on us.
Yeah, we got no say in it. Can't.
Are you Nicholas or were you born Nick?
It was Nicholas,
Okay.
and Nick went down to Nick.
Okay, and are you a Nick Jr.?
No.
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 You're senior. Got it.
So it went down to Nick for the sake of efficiency.
He was tightening
or-
it. He was
Yeah.
tightening his name. He was
Yeah.
tightening it
Tight
up.
name.
I think my
Type
parents
4
were yelling at me so
letters.
often. It's just we got to shorten it
Yeah.
because it's taking too long.
So efficiency.
Do you have a middle name?
Edward. So that is
Nicholas
a junior.
Edward.
That's a.
Did you shorten
from
it to
my
Nick?
father.
I mean, shorten it to Ed? Nick, Ed.
It's so funny.
That.
You don't really shorten your middle
Yeah.
name a lot.
No one shortens their middle name.
You know?
Why is that?
Nick Ed Vatterott.
Yeah.
Get down here.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
Because it sounds you can't have two first names. That sounds weird.
Oh, actually, I know people who shorten their middle names because in the South, a lot of people go by their middle name.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they should end up shortening that.
Someone just told me that, and they told me that their mom's middle name was like Bob, and then she went by Bob.
That's great.
Roberta,
Interesting.
maybe?
No, like they named
She
her.
went by Bob?
Her
Bob.
middle name was after like a father or
Oh, okay.
or some
Oh.
sort of guy, and then but because the South goes by the middle name a lot, they're just-
Interesting.
they're like
That actually-
Dave's coming over, and it was just some lady.
That whole like
No, this is a thing. This is a thing I have where like we all have like Starbucks names, so it's like easier for Starbucks people to get like our
All
you know.
right.
So I went to a Jamba Juice one time, and I always go by Paul because I feel like Paula is like a middle-aged white lady. I'm like, I'm not a Paula, and so I would say like Paul, and this lady at Jamba Juice was like, what did you say your name was? And I was like, Paul. And she was like, your mama did not name you Paul. My managers need to know your name. And I was like, you're making this take way longer than I hoped it would take. And also, how heteronormative of you.
That's so funny. That's
Did
so
you
funny.
accuse her of being heteronormative?
No, but
right there, right there.
No, but I was like, now this whole story took way longer than if I just told you my real name.
Right.
You could have like started a whole movement against Jamba Juice for being heteronormative.
Nah, man, I love Jamba Juice.
So Nick's Starbucks name is Nick.
Yeah.
How lucky are you
Yeah.
that you didn't have to pick a separate Starbucks name?
But then
Right.
also Nick gets. I hear like they'll be like next, and I'll be like, oh, is that me? No, you
Am
said
I
next
next?
again. Next.
That's
Me?
what happens when someone says physical. I always
Yeah.
or physics. I turn
Anytime
around.
anyone
They
says
yell.
Paul, anytime anybody says Paul, I once dated a Paul, and like we were walking through our dorms, and they said like our friends said hi to me, and they're like, "Hey, Paul," and then he passed, and they're like, "Hey, Paul," and he was like, "You stole my name." I was like, "Yeah, it works better on me though."
I love those like interactions. I'm Charles. I'm also Charles. I saw a guy one time.
I've never had that.
You never had that.
No.
Oh man.
I've had other Pallavis. I've met
Yeah.
other Pallavis.
What? There are others?
Yeah, and I met them all in the U.S.
I've known
Ah,
one other
really?
Pallavi. And
How-
that,
But you like me better, right?
yeah.
Yes.
I don't have a podcast with 80-year-old Pallavi
Yeah,
from Fort
suck
Myers.
it, 80-old Pallavi.
Do you have any Facebook friends that have you searched your name online? to
Yeah,
try to find
my phone. There's like a robot lady who has my full name. Like it's not a real person.
spam bot.
Yeah, spam bot lady. She's very pretty spam bot. But my last name is really unique. Like we're I think one or two families in the world with it as
Oh,
a last name.
wow.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're so lucky.
Where did
I'm sorry.
Zara's mad because there are like 12 Zaras in comedy. And
There
some-
are 12 Zaras in comedy
Oh,
and
no.
like 17 million Alis in the world. And I thought I was over here being... Kumail Nanjiani has pretty much written a movie about my life. So like I'm like struggling to find like a unique
She's out
thing.
here trying to adopt appropriate white culture and make a
What the
movie
fuck
about
am I
that.
supposed to do now?
Just take every Scarlett Johansson role that she didn't do so she could do other movies.
I'm working on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a middle name, Zara?
I have no middle name.
Get
No?
one.
No.
Name yourself. Middle name
I guess
yourself.
I should just adopt a middle name. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Nick, if you have any ideas.
Nick, make it be Nick.
I'll give you mine if you want it.
Zara Ed.
Zara Ed.
Sounds like we're learning about it's our education.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's so no middle name.
Yeah.
Middle name is sort of.
That's
weird,
actually
though.
pretty common in India.
I have a
wasn't-
middle name.
I do too,
what
but
is-
my
what's
parents
yours?
didn't. Mine's Zareen.
Oh, that's pretty.
Thank
so
you.
many Z's in your name.
I didn't know how to spell it until about high school because we never used it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My parents always made me use it. They were like, you have to put your middle initial and everything. I was like, there are no other Pahlavis in this city. Like, we're going to be fine. But
Am I crazy? Is there some countries where the first name is actually the last
that's
name?
yeah. So in South India, in Tamil Nadu, where my dad is from, his name on paper is Kanchipuram Natarajan Ganalan. Kanchipuram is where the family's from. Natarajan would be like Vatterott, like a last name.
Yeah.
And Ganalan is his like first name. Like, and so he goes by Guna, but it's also like my last name. So his like his name is like,
Interesting.
yeah. So that's a thing.
I think maybe in my dad used to tell he used to work. He was like building this like Korean church for these guys. So they were.
Your
What?
dad made
Wait,
a living building
roll
Korean
back.
churches.
There's
Yeah.
so much money in Korean churches. I don't know.
How many Korean
why.
churches does he have under his belt?
Nick got that Korean church money.
He's cranking them out, man. They're like
Damn.
Starbucks in the Midwest. I don't.
You know, I did walk into a Korean church once and they were like, your mama did not
Yo,
name you Paula.
Oh my god. Yo, we forgot to ask Esther Koo about this. Like, is there
Oh,
money
yeah.
in Korean churches?
Esther Koo's parents built
They're Korean missionaries
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
yeah?
Midwest. So maybe they knew your dad.
Yeah, maybe he built him a
Wait,
church.
so what were you saying?
Oh, but I think I maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I thought I think he said something about like something with their, the last name was like a first name for them, so they called him Mr. Ed all the time. Which I think is
Because he was a talking
adorable and
horse?
hilarious. Yeah, my dad is also.
The original
They
talking
feed him
horse.
apples, and my dad is a horse that builds Korean churches.
that's
I don't
so
know why
great.
we don't.
Such
I don't know why I don't talk about this on every podcast because it's the most
he
fascinating.
had so much to overcome.
Yeah, you
People
know.
always just write horses off.
Yeah, they're
they
like,
say
So are
how's
you
he going to do it without the opposable thumbs, you know?
Right, you can only be a police horse. There's only
There's
so
so
many
few
jobs.
I'm having flashbacks now to Esther's conversation. So are you part centaur or like how did this happen? I don't know if your dad's a horse. Like what's
Yeah.
going on?
Depends what your mom is.
Just the
I'm
tail.
just the
Just the
tail.
tail?
Just
Got
the
it.
tail.
Okay.
That's why I always have to wear pants because
So-
it comes out the bottoms of my shorts.
Oh, okay.
And people are like, sir.
So
your
you-
tail got in my drink again.
Yeah, I'm like, it's clean.
So you didn't want to be a prop comic with your ponytail.
No, I didn't want to lean on it. I didn't want to.
Mostly because it would hurt.
It's not built for that.
It's not built for that.
Yeah, it doesn't really have.
Okay,
a
wait.
purpose,
Why does
but-
your dad build Korean church?
My dad does construction.
Okay.
Not
Oh.
exclusively Korean
Yeah,
churches.
not
He's like,
exclusively.
I'm a
Gotcha.
Christian, but I only build
Yeah.
Korean
He
churches.
builds other
Right.
things in addition to Korean
I'm a
churches.
Mormon, but I
Okay.
only build Korean churches.
Okay.
I bet. Yeah, do the Amish build like churches for other religions?
The Amish, I heard you can buy something of theirs that they sell on eBay. What were my roommates were saying that they sell something
Bonnets?
like
No?
oven, like some weird thing that they sell.
Armoires?
I don't know. I can't just
Oh,
start
'cause they
naming
build
everything.
shit. They
Yeah, they
build
build
shit.
stuff, and so
Okay.
somehow they sell stuff on eBay, but they must not be the ones doing it. It must be like a
Secondhand. They probably sell it in a market and then that then
maybe.
goes to
I think
Amish furniture.
I think Mennonite and Amish. There's something different where some of them can use computers. I feel. I remember seeing them at Six Flags when I was a kid. And I was just like, are these just the cruelest parents in the world that just bring their kids to Six Flags being like, look at all these rides you're not allowed to go on?
No, so I've heard this before. I saw a documentary where when you're 16, you can like leave.
Rumspringa.
You can leave for
Oh,
a little
yeah.
while
Yeah.
and then
Go on eBay.
Yeah, you
Go on
can, no,
eBay,
you
sell
can-
all of your
You could go explore the
Wild
outside world. You could do
artisanal
like
belongings.
yes, you could do a field trip to the outside world, experience it, and come back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or you could
wow.
choose whether you want to stay, you want to come back, or
Is
stay
that what
in the outside
Kingpin
world.
was about?
I don't know.
know, man.
Rumspringa?
Can we get an Amish person on here?
I guess we could try, but I feel like it
Yeah.
would they wouldn't really be Amish.
They,
Well,
they couldn't talk on the mics,
yeah.
right?
No,
We'd
like
have to-
someone who was Amish and then left.
Although I
I'm
lived
there has to be an Amish
I
comic
lived-
somewhere.
I lived in Pittsburgh, and it was funny because there were like a lot of Amish people and also a lot of Orthodox Jews, and like it took about like for them to come into within 15 feet of me for me to be like, okay, Amish, okay, like because from far away they look the same. But I used to volunteer at this children's hospital, and like Amish people would come in when their babies were sick. So they like knew, they were like, okay, we're Amish, but we can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
You know, like we're hella Amish until the kid's sick. But like 50 of them would come with one child and they just stand there and like not talk to anyone. But it was like a huge community like rallying together. It's pretty cool.
I wrote I used to write a column in my college newspaper called My Humble Opinion. And that was my first taste of internet backlash.
What was the name of your
Ooh.
college? Okay, so let's backtrack. Where'd you go to college?
University of Missouri.
Okay.
Mizzou. To
Mizzou.
those.
And what was the name of the college paper? there?
It was called The Man-Eater.
The Man-Eater.
Mm.
Okay.
I can't imagine why they called it that. It's such a
Liberal
Hall & Oates
University?
song. It's just a...
Nelly
I don't know what that has to do with
song.
journalism. You know, like it's just people always made fun of the name, but yeah, it was. I remember writing I wrote a very anti-Mennonite article one time
Ooh.
Wow.
because of
what
exactly
inspired you? What triggered you to write
the
this?
fact that they wouldn't take their kids to the hospital when they were sick, and I thought
That bothers
was
me about
so dumb.
organized religion too. Like, isn't it Christian Scientists don't do that either?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. There have been certain cases where people have like tried suing and stuff, but I don't know what the federal and state laws are at this point.
Suing on behalf of the kid.
Yeah, because like they're kids with cancer or something, and then they just pass away.
Criminal lawsuits?
I don't know.
No, there's no such
I
thing
don't
as
think.
a criminal law.
I think
Yeah,
it's like
they-
negligence or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I
Wow.
know about this through the 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy that covered.
I actually
A
know
Christian
everything about the
and-
world through Grey's Anatomy. So
And there's an Orthodox Jew.
there's 2 type of men in this world: McSteamies and McDreamies. Okay.
That is true.
Is that really? Can we talk about Grey's Anatomy
never-
for
yeah,
a minute?
let's talk about.
I would love to talk about
Yes,
Grey's Anatomy.
I've never
Talk
watched
about
it.
I've never seen one episode,
have I.
and it's
I've
been
watched-
on for 20 years.
I've watched.
right?
I've watched like all of them,
You could be
and I'm not
cast in
proud of it.
easily. Like
Dude,
you could
Rishi
easily
or no?
be
What is?
cast in it.
Was it Rishi? Who was cast in it? Somebody was. I looked up and it was like a comedian playing a doctor, Indian dude. Obviously, he was like playing a doctor in like multiple shows I was watching. Every time I looked up, I was like, "What is he?" doing
Yeah,
here?
there's definitely actors we know that have been playing doctors on Grey's Anatomy.
Can I be on
You
Grey's Anatomy?
100%.
super castable.
perfect.
I've been in Shondaland. It'd be like a different. It'd be like crossover universe.
Yeah, yeah.
And how
You could.
How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Did
'cause
you get away with murder? in
No,
it?
she was the lawyer. Come on.
yeah.
Come
No,
on,
but
look
I
at this
think-
face.
I think
You're so excited about getting on Grey's Anatomy.
I mean,
For someone
she
who
was-
never seen it.
she was in Shondaland.
I never watched any of the shows I've been on until before I auditioned.
She's in
Oh,
the
yeah?
Shondaland universe now because she's been cast in one show. So I think they do like recycle like the same like featured extras and all of that.
Yeah.
Is it? Do
Wait,
they
wait,
all, are they
girls.
all connected, like the Marvel universe?
Not-
some of them.
They
Some- there
actually
was
had a crossover
The
episode
Practice and Grey's
really?
Anatomy.
between Grey's Anatomy and How to Get Away. They had a crossover
So
episode.
how to get away?
Wow.
There's also the new one with the fire department.
Oh, because he's changed into the fire.
yeah.
thing.
So yeah, there's that. It's How to Get Away with Murder and Private Practice. I think
Private
I think
Practice
they
was
try
with
to do
Grey's Anatomy.
crossovers. And
They
like,
did.
How
They had a
many
lot
does
of
she
crossover.
have?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
She's got
a lot.
There's
Wow.
everyone just make friends with Shonda. That's all. So yeah, what did you want to talk about Grey's Anatomy specifically?
Oh, what's it all about?
So
What's,
doctors fucking? Oh, I talked to my
doctors.
OBGYN who she shout out to Donna. She's at USC. She's dope as fuck. But she like was telling me about how she loves that show, and I was like, "What? Doesn't it bother you when like they say shit wrong?" She's like, "That's not why I watch it. I watch it for the sex."
Yeah.
She was like, "I love it. It's my favorite show."
I mean, it's TV.
Yeah.
You know, but
Is it steamy?
oh yeah,
sometimes yeah.
that was like the whole first season. It was about.
I legit thought doctors were that hot for a very long time.
That's so cute.
yeah.
Yeah,
did.
see, I grew up around them, so I never thought they were
Yeah.
hot.
All of
Yeah.
Fizz's family.
I
All
mean,
four people in her family are doctors.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Her
4 out of
siblings.
5.
What are you
I'm the
talking
5th.
about?
4 out of 5.
You have a
I'm the
very
fifth.
good-looking family, so I
No, but
I
other
don't
other
understand.
people. The Uggos
Yeah.
in her family's offices. That's what we're talking about. I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is there really a guy named was McDreamy really his name?
McDreamy is
It's a nickname they gave
Patrick.
him.
It was a nickname they gave Patrick Dempsey's character.
This podcast is now the Grey's Anatomy podcast.
Where they break down the first
Yeah.
season of Grey's.
So he was
With Nick
he,
Vatterott.
He was like the first quote unquote hot guy that they they featured on
Then
the
his
show.
friend came in and he
then-
was McSteamy because he was
Yeah.
also attractive.
Yes.
Because that's what I didn't get. I was just like, is that they really named their character?
No, those are
Is it
nicknames.
nicknames?
Nicknames that the other women that the female characters gave
Yeah.
I think that's what
In
kept
the
me.
universe of the show.
in the universe
Yeah.
of the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Both of which have now died on the show.
Spoiler
Oh.
alert.
Spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't watched it by now, you're never gonna watch it. So
I'm never gonna
Oh
watch
wait.
it.
Oh,
Wait,
but they replaced him. Okay, but they got an even hotter guy.
Hotter
like-
than McDreamy
Yes,
and McSteamy?
yes.
Can
but
I guess what his nickname is?
They did not give him a nickname.
Aw.
We
I
didn't give him a
Are
nickname.
you talking about Jesse Williams?
Jesse Williams.
Dude, wait, I was just gonna bring him up.
Jesse
Jesse
Williams.
Williams. Okay,
Is
Is he
no.
hot?
Oh,
He's
he's so attractive.
fine.
He is fine as fuck. But okay,
Does he have nice eyebrows?
He has
Nice
great
eyes.
eyebrows and great eyes.
Wow.
so he's
And
also
great abs.
gave a speech at the BET. Was it the BET Awards?
One of the awards.
One of the awards show,
he's
and
a-
it was
he's
very
a-
like galvanizing, and it was
Yeah.
very like pro-black. Like we need to address the issues and that are hurting people in our community, and it like went viral and stuff. And he's very like well
He's
educated.
an advocate.
He's an advocate.
for
He's
Black
dope.
Lives
He's
Matter.
part of the solution.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
But also, I went to a show. I went to my friend's show, and it was at Desano's Pizza, and it was the sauce show.
Oh my God, was he there?
Oh my God. I walk in and there's
Was
a
he
kid's
there?
no, wait, listen, there's a kid's birthday party. There's a kid's birthday party, and I look over and Jesse Williams is staring at me, and I smile at him and he smiles at me, and I was the one to break it because I was so overwhelmed. But I was like, oh, and I like walk into my friends and I was like, Jesse Williams is here, and like everybody like heard me at the show. And like I walked back out and he like was there, but then he like left, and I was like, I was dressed nice that day too. I was like, why did I break the stare? Why didn't I go for it?
Because you know he's single now.
I know. And
Yeah.
also,
Wait,
what?
like, after
He's been
that,
single for a minute.
I never.
Why
I,
didn't you text me?
I couldn't use technology at that point. I couldn't. Like, I like literally cried. I was like, I just made eye contact with him, and now I think I never need to come again.
Okay.
Like,
so when he was,
Why, did you just have all your cum in that
it was.
moment?
I
and
didn't.
just
I
ran
think
out?
I got pregnant. I don't know what happened. But
I mean, he might have that
Wow.
ability.
This
he
must
is
be some
that
guy.
good looking.
I
He
need to
is
show
so great
you a
looking.
picture.
So,
I'm gonna show you a picture
okay,
right now.
So when he was married,
McCreamy. Let's call him McCreamy.
Look at that.
Definitely
fart.
make cream.
Look at it.
yeah,
Hold on,
he's
that's not the
just
best.
got
Let's
amazing.
get a shirtless one.
He
shall
everything.
looks like he looks like Michael Keaton ate Jude Law,
Possibly.
or they morphed together.
Possibly. Yeah, I could see that.
I'm
So
gonna do
I
shirtless.
actually
He's got
I've seen
Jude
him
Law
now.
eyes.
I've seen him now twice. When he was married, he lived
at
in
that.
the neighborhood of.
Why? Wow! What happened to his body?
He's
It's
just
amazing.
beautiful. He's just perfect.
How do you get your body to do that?
I don't know.
I think you just don't eat and you just work out a lot and possibly steroids. I don't know, but
Wow, he's
So,
like a superhero.
when he was married, this was like when I first moved out here. I was like on the lookout for like celebrities, but also I was trying to find all the good food places. So I would go to Larchmont because there's this coffee shop there called Go Get 'em Tiger that has a pie happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. every day. And so, I would
we're
go
going
there.
there after this.
I would go there, and he, at the time, I think he was still married and lived in Larchmont. So he would go there
Married
too.
to a lawyer.
And I saw him there 3 times. So then I would just keep going there for pie happy hour, and I got fat, waiting for Jesse Williams to show up.
That's gonna be the
And
name of your memoir. I got fat
I got
waiting
fat.
for Jesse Williams to show up.
I got fat stalking
I got
Jesse
fat.
Williams.
Can you imagine if Jesse Williams said "I love you" to you?
Oh
You'd
my
be
God.
I
like,
would lose my mind.
Wow.
I would lose my fucking.
You'd gain
Do you
like
have-
30
Do you have any
pounds.
celebrity crushes?
I was just thinking that of like who is the equivalent that I would be like I would lock eyes with and just be like I don't know.
That's exactly what I would say if I met Jesse
I
Williams.
literally
Yeah.
like I stopped in my tracks. Like we had a moment.
He is like that pretty in person.
But I was like, well, also, why is he looking at me? Like we had a moment. I was
because
like, what
he's
is happening?
single.
I know.
He's single and he's
I
looking
fucked
at
it up, you
everybody.
guys. I
yeah, you
fucked it
could
all
have
up.
totally been with him.
You
I
could have
know.
totally had that Jesse
Yeah.
Williams baby.
That's where you could have been right now.
I know.
I'm leaving.
Being in Castle with Jesse Williams. I mean, watching doctor shows with him.
Who is your
He
celebrity
just
crush?
goes home and watches Grey's Anatomy.
I think he watches himself.
He's like the Kanye of acting.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna watch myself again.
Oh my God.
Your dinner conversations be like, hey, how do you think I should say this disease?
No, he's really smart.
He's smart.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
He's smart. He was a teacher.
He's a teacher. Yeah, he's
Yeah, but even smart people have a hard time with words.
with words.
This is true. He's just
Okay,
so
wait. Who's
pretty.
your celebrity crush?
Ah, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna start naming people. Rihanna.
Well, I'll tell a
Do
funny
you have a type?
I
Is there a certain type you always fall for? He doesn't want to talk about it.
I think it's like it's a personality trait.
Okay.
I guess it's sort of like
Trying to think.
it's-
Crazy?
I can't think of
No,
anything.
like I know.
Crazy.
No, his girlfriend's amazing.
Yeah, I
She's
can't.
super fun.
I can't think of anything that doesn't sound super cliche. You know, of just,
Funny,
like, fun,
smart,
fun and funny. Yeah,
like nice
and funny.
to
Yeah.
dogs.
yeah.
You like dogs
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
sexually?
Oh
I don't
my
like
God,
them.
what?
I don't like them
Where did
sexually.
What did I mean? I
What?
was looking at my
I'll-
phone for a second.
I will pet
Don't look
them,
at your
but
phone.
it's not an erotic petting.
No,
We
it's-
always get
it's
into
a-
bestiality on this podcast. I don't know where this
This is
comes
gonna be the
from.
new South
I have
Asian
no
stereotype.
idea.
South Asian bitches love that bestiality,
Oh
though.
my God. All
Okay.
right.
So you don't have Meryl
so
Streep.
I'll tell you. You know the girl from Westworld. Do you guys watch Westworld?
Okay. The main
She
girl.
plays Dolores.
Dolores.
Oh,
was-
Evan
Rachel Wood.
Wood, yeah.
Oh, she seems
She is
awesome.
So
super pretty.
I'd say I'd have I don't know.
So is she on your list? So you're in a relationship.
Well,
Do you have like a freebies?
Hall pass.
Like a hall pass list.
Oh,
Like, who's top five?
um,
Top five.
Top five.
Now
Gosh,
rappers.
I feel
Hall
like, I
pass.
feel like I'm gonna say a bunch of people from the '90s.
What if-
you
what
know?
if my
Like,
top five hall
okay,
pass is
Jenny
rappers?
McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy in the
Um,
90s?
I'd
Or
say-
Jenny McCarthy now.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I don't know what her
Post-autism
deal
You better,
is.
you
I
better,
don't-
you better vaccinate that dick.
What happened with the kid?
The kid did not have autism.
It did not have autism. It had another neurological disorder.
It?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause I don't know if it's a boy or
I don't.
girl.
Yeah, they weren't
Is it
specific
a
about
boy?
the gender.
Is it a boy?
Yeah, but I don't know. Everyone's gender neutral now with their kids, so I have no
Yeah.
idea.
They.
So I'm just gonna be
They-
more
I don't-
offensive by calling a child.
I don't
an it.
know what pronoun the kid subscribes
They-
to.
Someone,
is the
someone
same
told
version.
me literally, and
They,
I was
their,
It.
them.
I was literally in improv class like a week or two ago, and somebody was called someone out on set. Like our coach was like, "Hey, people without kids in improv scenes always call them it. No parent would ever do that." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's true."
That is true. It's such a detached, like, what is it doing here?
Yeah.
Get it out of
Get
here.
it out of
Yeah.
here.
Get it out of my crib.
Okay, so
Um,
Evan Rachel Wood, Jenny McCarthy in the 90s, pro
Wait, so-
autism scare.
Jenny McCarthy. So 1 minute she's on CNN with Jim Carrey talking about vaccines, and the next minute
Why?
she's in this e-cigarette commercial where she's just in this lounge
Oh, I saw
smoking
that.
e-cigs. I was like, where does the kid go? What are you doing in this bar, lady? You got your kid is
Gotta make them-
autism.
gotta
You
make
gotta
them
go
know,
home.
you know?
She's anti-autism, pro-cancer.
Okay.
For
And now-
cancer.
And now she's pro Wahlberg because didn't she marry Donnie?
What
And
the
she,
fuck?
She
married?
looks so
Yeah.
happy.
Wait,
She's
how
the
is she-
happiest she's ever
Can we
been.
backtrack? How is she pro-cancer?
Because she was
Because
the
she's-
e-cigarettes.
She's on e-cigarette
Oh,
commercials.
gotcha.
I don't know. I just learned that. Okay.
It's just like, what are you doing in a bar?
Wait, where did you see this e-cigarette commercial? They don't do e-cigarettes on TV.
There is a hot minute I think that they were on.
Oh,
I
they
saw
shut
the
it down.
I saw the
And it might have
commercial.
been a YouTube commercial.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so Jenny McCarthy from the 90s.
Jenny McCarthy from the '90s.
Okay.
You know what? I'll give now Jenny McCarthy a chance. I haven't checked in with her for a while,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like once you marry a Wahlberg, like it's okay. Like you everything else passes. Whatever you did before that.
Everything falls into place after you marry a
you're
Wahlberg.
cleansed off of whatever you did before.
Are there any left? Or are they all taken?
Yeah, well, I've been in an elevator with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah.
I was way taller than him.
Is-
I was just about to ask.
Is
that.
he
Yeah.
small?
He is.
Like how like
I mean, he's built. He's beefy.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
cares that he beat the shit out of a Korean man forever ago. No one cares about that.
I didn't know about that.
It was a hate crime he committed when he was like hella young, and people just let his career keep going.
I think
Yeah,
because
it's
he
weird. Did he ever-
apologized profusely and he's done a lot of good work since then and he's recovered and
Did he
into
ever
anger
like
management
go
and
to
all that.
jail or anything?
I don't know if he actually went to jail.
I
Okay.
think he blinded the guy.
He blinded
oh my
a Korean man. Okay, well, I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
And then he's like, "I'll go." If I was on 9/11, I would have stopped it.
Oh, I saw that recently.
Single-handedly.
He said I would've stopped
He's
the
like
plane.
Trump, where he's just like Trump's. These guys, they're just maniacs. They're just like, I
Something
bet I
about-
could run into a school and stop a school shooter. Oh, if I would have.
swear to God, it's like Boston, New York guys. Like I don't know. There's like something with like people that have been there for so long. Maybe they've like just like procreated with each other for so long.
God damn.
You know, you just have this like personality where you think you could do impossible things. names. I
It's
have
also
no
like
idea.
how insulting is that to everyone who has survived
absolutely.
or not survived? Like that's
I have
so
no idea.
incredibly insulting.
It's like you
have no
couldn't
idea.
even stop yourself from beating up a Korean guy.
couldn't.
You know, like why do you think you're gonna be a
Honestly.
hero in this other situation?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You get away with like doing something as crazy,
Yeah.
and then you think you're invincible, and
Yeah.
you have the power to do anything. You know?
They're in movies. Everyone says they're surrounded by yes men.
Yeah, and they're like American darlings. Like the
Yeah.
reality TV world loves them, Hollywood loves them, like Middle America loves them, Jenny McCarthy like loves them. It's like like
Jenny McCarthy
you
loves
can't
them.
take the Wahlbergs down. You just can't.
I know, man.
I want to be like I want the Alis to be that one day. I
Yeah.
just want to be invincible. Like
Yeah.
if there's a way to do that.
Your husband's
Sure.
gonna take your last name.
I have to
Yes.
talk. I would have to talk to him about that, but I am pretty sure I'm not taking whatever my husband's last name
I felt
is.
like that too. I was like, I'm not taking a man's last name. I want another man's last name. My dad's last name. It's just like it doesn't make any sense. We're all just like women are just like we don't
Yeah.
have our own names.
Yeah.
But
Wait, would you do that? So, like in your relationship, would you like feel any type of way if she wasn't to take your last name?
No, I don't care.
You don't care.
Mm.
You're all for the feminism.
I got enough on my plate.
What if she wants a hyphenated situation? Both of you guys take each other's names.
or mix it up.
I think yeah. First half
Or
of
you
my
take her name,
and the
she
second
takes
half.
your name.
And it's Nelson. So it'd
Vatterson?
be Vattelson.
Vattelson.
Or
Or
Vatterott.
Vatterott.
Vatterott. I like Vatterott.
Vatterott is just one letter changed from his name.
True.
Nelsorot.
Nelsarot. That sounds.
Okay.
I think you should take her name and she should take your name.
Okay, we only
swap-
had
do
two
name
in the
swap?
top
Name
five. We back to the previous. We only had two in
You know
the
what's
top
weird?
five.
I
You gotta
can't
come
think
up
of
with other
anybody.
three.
I don't.
There's no one that's like, oh, she's super hot.
Because nowadays, and this is sort of now when I feel like I'm getting older, people like the new celebrities look like children to me.
Yeah, I
so
hear you.
I don't have like these new everybody like in my
No one-
zone
no
is
one else from
already.
the
I've
90s?
already.
No, not like Britney or J Lo. I'm trying to name everybody who was like hot.
I
in
mean,
the
we're not
90s.
taking these older women out
Yeah.
of the mix.
No,
You can
they're still in the mix.
Yeah.
They're-
What about,
they're
like-
in, but I
You don't
feel
need
like
a
I
preteen.
Jennifer
can't-
Aniston.
I can't think of them anymore because I'm
Salma
not
Hayek.
bump. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm not. They already.
Cameron Diaz. There's so many hot
Zara
women. from the
needs
90s.
you to
loves
do
his
this.
I need you to
girlfriend.
do this.
She needs
All right,
I'm
let's
trying-
do this. I'll try to think of five.
I'm
I'll say
trying to-
Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah.
By the way, I met her
Yeah.
and did not know didn't know who she was.
What?
It was I was Critics' Choice Awards. I was working on that, and then after the show, we were.
Were you writing on the Critics' Choice?
Yeah,
Award? Okay.
yeah. And then we were back in this little alley smoking one hitters,
Mhm.
and as you do.
Jinx. No jinx.
But this lady came up with her friend and is like, "Can I bum a cigarette from you?" And Amber had a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was Evan Rachel Wood. And what's funny is that
And is that when she became your celebrity crush?
she kind of lost me a little bit on that one
Because she smokes.
No, because her friend was so obnoxious, and I was just like, I was trying to make small talk with them, you know?
Yeah.
Because so they bummed a cigarette, and then we were kind of sitting there for a minute. It's just the four of us, and I was like, and I didn't know who she was. I was like, "Did you guys enjoy the show?" And she was like, "Yeah, you could say that."
Her friend?
Well, no, she did that because she won an award. And
Oh, that's
you know,
funny.
and so she was like, "Yeah, you know." And then,
Go ahead.
then I was like, you know what was great? They got this all-you-can-eat oyster bar over there. And I kept talking about the all-you-can-eat oyster bar. And her friend kept doing this thing where he's like, I didn't... Oysters? Yeah, I don't think so. And I was just... it was like that personality, you
Yeah.
know? And I was
Oh, my
like, oh,
goodness.
God. And then at one point I was like, I wish these two would leave. And I can't believe... And then later... So then the next night... Me and Amber were watching Westworld, and Amber goes, "Oh, that's that lady we met." And I was like, "Wait, when?" And because her hair was all short, and it was
Oh.
completely different.
So she was your crush before you met her. And
Yeah.
then you met her and you didn't even know.
I didn't even know it was her. And
Never
then
meet
not
your
only did I-
heroes.
not only did I not know it was her, at one point I said, "I wish she would go away."
So this like list of celebrity crushes already is starting off
Yeah,
strong.
It's already bad.
You're asking for 3 more, Zara?
Don't meet your crushes. Basically, is what Nick is saying.
I'm trying to think. What are there? Who? There's actors to be you can crush
Actors,
on.
musicians,
Yeah.
God, you know what? And
people
also,
from your
like,
elementary school.
I feel like right now there's these all the actresses are all the same person.
They
We
all
were
look the
talking. We were talking about how
same.
everyone looks like the Kardashians now. They all
Yeah.
have the same hair and the
Yeah.
same makeup, and it's creepy.
There's only one way to do your makeup, and that's to look exactly like a Kardashian.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It is very weird.
I bought my girlfriend a birthday card this week, and it was a girl that looked just like a Kardashian on the card. You open it up, and then it was her ass shakes in the card. It was pretty funny, but like I was like, she'll get a kick out of this. But I was like, they got her because she looked just like a Kardashian.
Of course,
It's
yeah,
so weird.
totally.
And
It
I
is
don't
weird.
even. It's so weird. That whole thing. Like every day, there's I for 10 years I've been saying every day they're in the news, and I don't get it. I don't know.
That's like
I
that's.
don't understand it at all.
I don't know.
But do you
None
think
of us
they're
understand it.
Do you think they're kind of smart for that, creating this empire out of what?
Business-wise?
Yeah, good for her. You made
Yeah.
honey out of garbage. You know, I mean, you just some guy peed on
Shots
you.
fired
and you,
at Evan Rachel Wood and Kim Kardashian and Evan Rachel Wood's oyster-hating friend. Shots fired by Nick Vatterott. You heard it here
Are you
on the
sure?
Grey's Anatomy podcast.
Wait, are you an insult comic? Because that's the vibe I'm getting right now.
No, he's like
What?
super. Have you seen his sets before?
You know what? I haven't.
Okay,
and I'm-
I like if you watch him go, you're so weird. You're so strange. Like you have like a very silly energy, and like every time you go up, it's different. Like there was one time I saw you go up, and you were just like mumbling your whole set. You're just like, like I don't even know what you were saying, but it was so.
I don't
funny.
know. I probably wasn't saying anything.
No, but there were like weird like punchlines in between, but the way like you're like the way you were doing it, and it's entertaining to watch because I feel like going to an open mic or going to a show, there's a very like standard way that people tell their jokes, and there's like a cadence to it, and you just
Yeah.
throw all that shit out the window, and it's like very admirable and weird and different. It's fun to watch. It's refreshing.
I want to see this.
I watched his Fallon set right before this, and he had a part in it. He did like these act outs, and they didn't make sense, and the audience was just like, that's weird. And then later he had a part where he was like, I forgot my next joke. Do you guys mind if I take out my set list? And he pulled out, and they all thought that he'd forgotten his jokes, and he pulled out a giant, like, comedically large set list, and it explained what some of the previous jokes were because they were just act out. And he's like, do the act out where this thing happens in Indiana Jones, blah blah blah. And then he's like, pretend to forget your set, and it's like I guess you're a prop comic now.
I guess so.
but
On
but it was
Fallon and
funny.
Conan and I both had props in both those things.
What was the Conan one?
Yeah.
I have a guitar.
Oh, okay.
And
Wait, are you a musical comic too?
He's gonna say no. You don't need
I'm
to
not.
be musical.
I mean, if it walks like a duck.
You'll have to go ahead and watch the Fallon and the Conan clip, and then I'll just say I have a guitar and I never play anything with
So
it.
it
very
was like
silly.
definitely a prop.
Definitely a problem. And I had to stop doing the bit because
What?
I kept flying around with this guitar that I wasn't even using. So I was like, I gotta.
Oh my god,
funny.
I
that
was like, hey Nick, maybe write better material, and then and instead
that
of
is
wear
actually
props.
pretty funny
And then
to have a
the
guitar.
people come up
But
to
I
you
was
and
like
they're
paying.
oh, you're a musician.
I was
You're
like paying
no.
$25.
Yeah, for carry on.
Yeah, carry on and
On
stuff.
Spirit, yeah.
funny.
Oh no,
yeah.
on Spirit, it is the cost of the flight itself.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Spirit. If you want to wear your shoes, it's like $20, and if you want to it's so obnoxious.
They charge me to check in at the airport.
Yeah, they do that.
It's just like at least now I know going in. You want they're like, oh, if you want to be inside the plane, there's an inside charge, and I know that now when I see the $19 to London or whatever it is, it's like, well, it's not.
$19 to maintain your citizenship. Otherwise, throw your passport out.
But if you want to bring
Sell it on the black market.
if you want to bring a suitcase to London, like who goes to London without a suitcase?
Right.
$25 to wake up not in a bathtub full of ice.
Oh my goodness.
We'll give you back your children. If
Yeah.
we,
Goodness. Oh gosh.
I once
Or we
flew-
won't,
I-
because this is America.
I
We
flew-
don't give you back your kids.
Ooh, topical.
It is. How can we? Do we want to talk about
we
that?
can
let's talk
that.
about it.
I don't know, man. I'm like, do you guys go through waves of just like, here's where I'm at right now. I can't figure out how to feel about anything, I go through waves of like fury and anger, and then I'm like, then I just want to detach myself,
Yeah.
and then it's because then and people are always like, if you're not caring about every moment of everything that's happening all over and that's ever happened, you're
It just
part of the
hurts.
problem.
Yeah.
It's
It
just like
hurts a lot.
exhausting.
Well, if
You
we're supposed
know?
to be like perpetually outraged, then are we really outraged?
I think
that
Right.
becomes our new normal.
We're just raged. We're
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, I think it's just like the new
Enraged.
normal. It's the new normal to be constantly outraged and to be constantly in this state of fury. And sometimes, like, I have to remove myself from it because I feel like I just go numb.
I think
it's just like a constant state of depression.
I think
Yeah.
also
You know?
that like
Yeah.
it's all horrible, and I wish that none of it ever happened, and it's terrifying. But I think also like what I've seen with people around me is that we all do like, I don't want to say care, but are able to act in waves. Like we're all able to like put on fundraisers at different times. So then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're a team together
see.
and we're like doing this with the energy that we
Yeah.
have at different times. Like literally I
Yeah.
had an open mic last year and we would try to like do a charitable cause like when the hurricane happened or Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, like whatever. But it's literally like there were so many causes that I couldn't I didn't have time to like
there are so many
to raise
causes.
money for all of them. But then
also,
I saw
Flint
other,
still doesn't have clean water.
Right.
yeah.
you know,
But
it's
then
like,
I
Puerto
saw-
Rico still doesn't have power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I saw like other
Yeah.
people were doing it. I was like, okay, this like I might not be able to do it this week, but somebody else I know
Yeah.
is doing it.
Tag
But
you out.
There's
Yeah,
so much-
exactly.
So you can be
For
exhausted.
humanity.
But there's so much of this happening. Like, okay, I'm great that we're all becoming, or it's spurring us to be activists. But at the same time, like, it's not. The change is not happening at the level that all this craziness
We're all
is
on our
happening.
heels.
Right.
We're on
You
our
know,
heels.
it's like how do we keep up?
I'm so angry, like because like it's insane to me. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was like I would laugh to myself that people were like racist or misogynist or anti-LGBTQ. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. Like this is so stupid. And then it just becomes like more real and more painful. But I was just like, how the fuck are we in 2018 and not just all trying to fight cancer? Like there are other
Right.
things to worry about to survive as
because
humans.
they found the cure and they just won't tell people what
Okay,
it is.
that's not.
I'm sorry.
If you look at
Big pharma.
Sorry,
I
big
mean-
pharma. Sorry, I messed up your secret.
It's
if you look
it's pretty bad.
If you look at the elections historically, the pendulum always swings. There's
It
the
does.
conservative, then it swings to the
But I
liberal.
hate
and the,
that.
So
Yeah.
we had a black president, which probably outraged a lot of
Racist.
So the
Right.
pendulum swung, and now we have a racist in office.
Honestly, I remember when he got elected, like my friends, we were like I hope he like makes it. Like we thought that people would try to like take his life or something because it's like we knew people that were like hella racist.
Yeah.
So we were like, it's amazing that
Yeah, I'm
it went as
surprised.
well
But you
as
know
it
what?
did.
I like my races out in the open. I like to know.
Yeah.
So that I mean,
Yeah,
Actually,
no,
you know what?
actually, no.
I want secret racists
Put
who
it
like
back.
fire me.
Put it back, man. I don't want it. Like, just put it back. Like,
You're
put
there.
it back to where just keep it on the inside. Because
it's like you turn the light on and the roaches are
Like, it's
scattering.
like-
I'd like
yeah,
to know the roaches.
I know, but the
Yeah.
roaches are scattering and then taking babies from their parents. So it's
Yeah.
like they're
like,
out
it's
there.
becoming okay. Like the latest thing in the news is now it's like they're not giving the kids back because they're doing DNA tests to confirm that they're actually the parents
Yeah.
and not.
We were
not-
just talking
not
about how
children.
these idiots aren't
Not-
taking doing Excel sheets.
I was like, yeah, why are you not like why are you less organized than comedians? Like, I don't-
Right.
Comedians are
Right.
actually very organized. If you tell comedians to run,
I
this
have a
shit,
whole
they'll
Google
probably work.
Drive for everything.
Yeah, but it's like no, they're like, oh, they might be victims of sex trafficking, so now we're gonna
You
run
are
DNA
making
tests.
them victims of abuse. Jesus
Unbelievable.
Christ.
So
yeah,
anyway,
putting them through trauma. And
I'm
all
sorry,
that
Nick.
stuff.
How do you
I
feel
even
about
think-
all this?
Well, even like when you say like people were like having racists out in the open, and I
Yeah.
feel like racism. I miss the old racism where someone.
I miss the
You want
old
to
Kanye.
make
The
racism
old-
great again.
I want to make it. Well, it used to be a guy would be like, he'd go, I don't like black people because I don't like black people, and that was very blatant. Now
It's like
they
energized.
won't admit they're racist.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
sort of like, it's not that I don't like
No, it's
black
like-
people, it's that
But I'm just
I
gonna call the
feel-
cops on every black
Yeah.
person I see doing anything out in public,
Exactly.
selling lemonade.
Yeah,
going
I
bottled
think that's
water.
so funny because like those chubby white women who are calling the cops, untying up the 911 lines by calling the cops on black people for no reason, are
Yeah.
just gonna fuck themselves over when they die of heart attacks.
Yeah.
Because
For
that's
being
their
upset all the
number one
time.
killer.
They won't, and they don't think they're racist when they're doing all
Have you
that
guys
stuff.
seen the documentary White Right, Meeting with the Enemy
No.
on Netflix? I highly recommend it. It's like 50 minutes. It's by Dia Khan, so she's one of
Okay.
us.
represent.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because
We
I
out
think
here.
she's
Right.
incredibly courageous. She sits down with some of the most violent, extremist racists
Yeah.
and actually connects with them on a human level. And you see them sort of revert to being little boys,
Wait.
just little hurt boys.
Hold on a second.
What?
These violent racists have more credits than I do? How is that fair?
That's fucked up.
They're
That
on
is so fucked-
Netflix.
Oh, I
wait,
gotta start some
hold on.
shit.
Are
You
they-
might have seen this next
wait,
racist on
wait,
Netflix.
Are they straight white males?
I mean, I don't know because I feel
For
like
the
a lot
most
of people
part?
maybe who are homophobic might be because they're repressing
Yeah.
something, but that's not my business.
But they
So-
identify as straight white males.
So they turn,
identify
in,
as
so they
straight.
turn into
Therefore-
little boys, they shrink?
They shrink, and you see that they are stunted emotionally because
Yeah.
once they get to know her as a person, I mean, they may have never met a brown person in their life,
Yeah.
or a Muslim, or
Right.
I'm not going to say they haven't met a woman, but
Yeah.
a brown woman, and you can see that there's the wheels are turning in their head, like the cognitive dissonance
Yeah.
is killing them because
Yeah.
they're like, well, I like her though, and I want to deport all of them, but not her. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see sort of
So,
the wheels turning
because
and the power of
it's-
kindness and
racism
connection.
exists because it's so far removed from like the familiarity.
Yeah.
Right. So like where-
Tribalism.
I mean, yeah, and so that's why like on the coast you see the liberalism. You're like, oh, I like you. You're my friend. I have friends. I can relate to these people because like you grow up around it. You know, like you don't see that much. You don't see like the minorities in Middle America. You know, they're very segregated.
Yeah.
And so that's why racism just is rampant in some of these places
So,
because
my
they're
question-
not exposed to it.
Yeah.
My
They're-
question for Nick, I was just going to ask you: have you ever, as a white man, have you ever been in a situation
Racist.
with other, with other white men, and they
As-
thought maybe you're one of us, and they slipped and said something, and you're like, oh, you know, that's
like a buddy say something racist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or said,
absolutely.
you know, grab him by the pussy or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I definitely, you know, when we were young, I think about growing up in St. Louis and how I was only around white people.
Yeah.
You know,
What was Nelly not at every party?
he was
'Cause I
in,
feel
he
like
was
he's-
in U City, man.
Oh, right.
He was.
I just feel like he's
he was in the
St.
loop.
Louis. Okay.
He was in, yeah, because
Nelly was at the Comedy Store like a month ago.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah. I looked at someone's picture and I was like, is that Nelly? And I was like, that was for sure Nelly.
I have a question. Does he have the Band-Aid or did that heal
I
finally?
think it's finally. I think it finally healed. I don't know why people weren't more concerned. Like, were there doctors
Yeah.
on set?
That poor guy. It's
It's a terrible rash. I think
just
it is
if
what
he's
it was.
shaving, maybe he's not shaving right.
Just over the one cheekbone. It's just. It's real sad. But I think he's doing. I think he's healed.
Oh,
from
that's
it.
good.
Yeah.
It's a
But
racist
yeah,
friend.
I feel
That's why he
like
felt hot. Was the rash actually?
it's getting hot in here.
It's like Nelly, just get some medical help.
Yeah.
He was bringing people together. Didn't he do that like that crossover country song?
Oh
Was it Tim McGraw? He was bringing people together.
Well, and it's so funny because rap and country both do line dancing, which is so
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah,
to me that
totally.
like they're so
Yeah.
opposite.
There,
that's so
but there are a lot of
similar.
Yeah.
there are a lot of rappers that love country and like people who like really love both of those.
Country
things.
grammar.
weird.
Hello, Nelly is one of them.
Yeah,
First
no,
single.
because a lot of the things they talk about are the same. They brag
Yeah.
about their cars and their women. So it's like,
Yeah.
what beat are you gonna do it over? Let's
Yeah.
remix this
just
shit.
just different branding. That's
Yeah.
all. So I'm sorry. Racism in St. Louis.
Well, I think like, and as we grew up, you know, I mean, I remember like in grade school telling racist jokes to each other and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
having no idea that was wrong.
We did that in college. Like,
Right. I think
We do that today.
But I feel like as we got older, fewer and fewer, you know,
Yeah.
friends told these jokes, and then to the point that now if anyone tells it, it's like, what are you doing, man? You know, like,
Yeah.
and it's so weird. I always think it's funny. I always make fun of how after shows when someone comes up and it was just like, hey, can I tell you a joke? And I'm like,
Oh,
no,
God.
because it's usually a racist joke.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's like, what from me being on stage for an hour makes you think that I'd be into that, you know? And I guess that's the only joke that he knows, and it makes his buddies at work laugh, and so he thinks, and he thinks it's harmless. He thinks it's detached or whatever. But I don't know. I have there's just
how do you handle your fans? Because we have a thing where we have a lot of fans. That there's some fans that we have that are older white males.
That's our demographic.
That's our
these
demographic.
days.
yeah.
And
How do you
They're-
get
they're
those? Because I
listening to
can't
this.
seem to.
That's not your
come to one of our
demographic?
shows. Come to one of our
Just come to our
shows. And So that's like we tend to have those fans, and it's hard sometimes, not necessarily just with them, but with people who like message you and like, you know, try to connect with you, and you don't want to like alienate them,
Right.
because you're doing the thing that you're doing because of the fans. Like you're able to like keep doing it and like you appreciate it, but it's sometimes like as we're slowly getting fans, it's like hard for us to
The
balance.
question
that.
is, Nick, is anyone sending you a dick pic?
Oh God, no.
Unsolicited.
Is anyone sending you a dick pic solicited?
No, they're drawing. They're drawing. Yeah, I'm.
How many dick pics
I'm
are you
putting it
asking
out
for?
Are
there.
you putting
Yeah.
dick pics out there? Who are you sending dick pics to? What is your input
Just your
output
girlfriend?
ratio?
Well, but I send dick pics, but you got to realize that I think dick pic is short for Richard Pictures. So I just
So
send.
which Richards?
Yeah, just
Just
like
any
Richard
Richards.
Nixon.
Gere.
Yeah, Richard Gere. I'll send a picture of Richard Gere.
Can I tell you something?
Really into Richard Pictures.
I would feel more violated if you sent me a picture of Richard Nixon. I'd be like, this is
This is
disgusting
gross.
and uncalled for.
I don't want a tricky dick. I want a yeah.
That's
Dick pics.
fun.
Is that? I've
so
never
fun.
sent a dick pic. I don't have the balls.
Oh,
No,
How
but,
often did balls make it into the dick pic?
Yeah,
by the way?
I send ball pics. That's the
Yeah.
only thing.
You
I
only
send.
send
Only
balls.
ball pics. Okay.
Is it?
We send ultrasounds. That's what we send. just to scare them a little bit.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna
going to
send
do
ultrasound pictures.
That
That's
just
so
I'm
funny.
gonna do that.
Does anybody like them for real though? Like,
Dick
Ultrasound pics?
do some girls like dick pics?
I
Am I
used to
crazy?
I used to want to like sexy video chat with my boyfriend, but
I
not
mean-
like I don't want a dick pic from
If I've
somebody
asked
random.
for it.
Then why is
Yeah.
it? Why are guys doing it then?
Because guys
Why
are
do guys
stupid.
do anything?
Why don't you explain this to us, Nick?
Yeah, why are guys
the one
sending
to
I'm in the
observe
dark in a lot of this stuff too. I don't understand. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I've never been like, you know what? I'm trying to craft a funny text. I have the, you know, like
Yeah.
when I'm dating a girl, I'm like, oh, what's a good funny thing to send back? Oh, and I'll spend way too much
And
time
dudes,
thinking
most
about
dudes
it.
think that their dicks are hilarious, and we do
Yeah.
too. So that's why they send.
How do you know
Zara
it's
and I were talking.
I've legit laughed at it.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
laughing.
I've
LOL.
legit. Yeah.
What happened?
LMAO.
Did it look like some? Did it look like? Is it like?
Was it just small?
It was
Oh.
kind of like wormy, you know, like what?
Someone texted
Oh,
this
that
to
poor
you?
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
No. It was
was
in
it
real
live?
life.
It
It
was
was in
live.
real life, and I was like,
She just
wha-
laughed at a
I
dude's
was like,
dick.
whoa, I was not expecting
What
a
happened?
caterpillar.
How do you get out of that?
I just laughed and I left.
You just left.
Oh,
Did you say
that
anything?
Poor guy.
No, because I did not ask to see
Oh,
it.
fucking
you know?
yeah, then whatever.
It was like he was just going there because he was
Ew.
so excited, and I'm like,
He was
whoa,
excited. It
whoa,
still look wormy?
whoa. I think once he realized like I was like not having it, he was like, oh man, I messed up. And
Yeah.
then I told everyone that he has warm dick. So
His friends, family,
yeah,
coworkers.
because it's like if you're just gonna like pull it out
Whip it
without my
out.
consent.
How did he
like, I'm
read it
gonna
wrong? Like
tell
where?
everybody. I don't know. It's college. Like no one knows what they're doing. No one like a lot of people. Like
I feel like
guys
that's
too
why
now, like,
I
don't
feel
get,
like
get accused.
I feel like that's why like some of these people in like comedy or art and entertainment or whatever. Like I mean, it happens everywhere, but I think like in college is where like a lot of people made mistakes sexually, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh fuck, like that was not the right thing to do,
Yeah.
and then we all like learn from that and move on.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who don't go to college and like don't have the opportunity to make those mistakes at those
Yeah.
parties or whatever, and then they're just doing it in real life as full grown adults, and it's just like, ooh, you should have had this education.
Yeah.
Back when you were getting an education.
So I'm sorry. Did Louis C.K. not go to college?
No,
Is
I'm not
that-
saying-
did he? When did he like realize that that's not?
No, I'm saying that,
normal?
like-
I just don't.
No, that's what I'm just
Yeah.
saying that like for a lot of people, I
Yeah.
feel like that they didn't make their mistakes early enough.
Well, okay, but
I
regarding
guess.
the Louis C.K. thing, everyone knew about it in comedy.
Yeah.
Everyone knew about it. They just were like, "Oh, that's just what he does."
Yeah.
And then that was before the Me Too movement, when that's how people
Everyone-
reacted to
yeah.
everyone.
Everyone
That's just-
knew that he was going to be the next one to fall. I think.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone had. It was interesting. I'd only heard of the what had happened in Aspen. I hadn't heard all the other stuff that had happened. You know,
Oh.
the phone call and like.
Yeah.
and other people he had done that to or whatever.
I think I
you
would have
know.
been so dumb. I wouldn't have understood that he was like masturbating on the phone. I'd be like, "What is this guy exercise?" Like I would have like. I'm a very oblivious.
I love
to
that
when
she
people
called
are-
him out on
Yeah.
it and like, yeah, I just. It's so funny.
That happened to me
It's so
once in college. Someone called me while they were jerking off, but it was in college.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I was in college. He had already graduated.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
I think it's fun because my manager, I can tell when he's completely checked out of the conversation and is like looking at his computer, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that'd be funny if you had someone that you were like, you talk to on a regular basis, and they're like, you've checked out, and you're just
Yeah.
you're masturbating. You're like with,
Are you is that what you ask people now when they check out? Like, hey, are you masturbating?
hey, are you so bored by me right now that you're
right now?
masturbating?
Can you just let me know when you start masturbating so I can?
and I don't need to be on for this.
Yeah.
God, it's such a weird thing.
Like, are you watching porn or is this related to me? I didn't.
Porn's so like accessible right now. Why just
bother
have
real
sex
life
with
women?
have sex with people or look at porn. I don't know. It's such a weird thing.
It's become harder to have sex with people because you're not creating those like intimate connections.
Yeah.
I feel like it never has it been so accessible because of Tinder, and then it's also become harder because of like the lack of
Because of Tinder.
intimacy.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
You know?
when a guy gets his dick out, when Worm Dick did what he did, were you guys making out first?
No.
So he just was like,
I think
I'm
he
gonna
was
cut
just
right
drunk.
to.
I think he was just drunk, and he was like, "Oh, Zara's in my dorm room," and I think he was just like, "Okay, well, I think this is what I'm supposed to do now." Like,
That's
there's
so
a girl in
weird
my
to
dorm
me.
room.
Did
and
you
I-
see it coming out? Were you like, oh no, 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 or did you turn around and you
No,
turn back?
like I
and it's
turned
there?
around. Like I think we were like watching something on his laptop or whatever.
Oh my god.
Was his dick under the laptop?
No, but like
There is a hole in the laptop, and
and you reached over to press the space bar and then his dick appeared.
honestly, I think we were watching Russell Peters. I think we were watching Russell Peters on YouTube.
even weirder.
Yeah, and then this is a brown dude.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna say his name because I think he's like married with a kid now. But
Daddy,
Yeah, and then
are
I was
you
like,
Worm Dick?
yeah, and then he
Daddy,
just,
I have a worm dick too.
yeah, and he just whipped it out, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, oh my God, that's your dick. I gotta go now. Bye. And then,
Was there really a moment where you had to process what it was?
I had to
Like, what am I
process it,
looking
'cause
at?
There's a
I'm
lot
like,
of shock.
I'm like, what? Well, first I was like, what is that? 2, and then I was like, oh, that's your dick. And then 3 was like, oh my God, you just pulled your dick out in front of me, and I just came to watch.
Just
Russell
so many
Peters.
layers
And then
of
it was just like, all right,
wrong.
I gotta leave. And
I'm
then
trying to watch Russell Peters.
exactly, it was
Put
like
your
I'm watching.
dick away.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I
wonder how many times
think
that's
he
been
was
said.
like, oh, she likes brown guys because she's watching Russell Peters. Maybe she'll like brown dick right now. Like I have no idea.
Now, do you think
what
this
was
is a
going through his
guy who's
mind.
watched too much porn and he thinks that's how it
Absolutely.
works? Because I was always
Absolutely.
so nervous to try to kiss a girl. I couldn't even imagine just
Yeah.
whipping the dick out.
Yeah.
I'd have just more than anything the potential of the shame I would feel
Yeah.
of embarrassment.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed when I would go to kiss a girl and she didn't want to kiss me. I felt stupid, and but I couldn't even. I don't know.
They just want to go from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not even gonna see if she doesn't want to kiss
Yeah.
me. We're gonna see if she wants this dick or not.
So
That's
did
so
you
weird.
did you tell him? Because he's married now, so maybe like he stopped pulling out his dick.
feel like
I'm
he must have
pretty
learned.
sure because
Because she ran out.
I ran out.
Yeah.
But then like there were other women that had like similar like rumors. So I think I just like my story just validated
Yeah.
all the ones before me. And so like I think his reputation became so tarnished as being this creeper that like as he grew through college he just like learned better and then
Yeah.
But I mean I'm hoping he learned.
I just don't. I don't know. It's like when those. It's like when like construction worker guys like holler.
Yeah.
It's just
Catcall.
like did one time.
There was,
One time the girl was just like, you know what? What are you doing later?
there was one time I was like in this dress and I was walking and I was like feeling myself, and then there were like 2 fire trucks worth of firemen and they both like yelled something, and in my head I was like, okay, maybe I look okay or something. Like it wasn't like horrible. They were just like, damn, or whatever. And then I walk past, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm looking all right. And then I walk past and there's just the grossest homeless guy who just like hollered at me too. And I was like, what demographic? Just everyone, just hot firemen and then also like a trash pile. Like
That just means across all
Yeah,
spectrums
I know.
you were looking good that
it was
day.
like my ego was like hella elevated and then just immediately dropped.
It just means it's like it's universal.
You're
man.
mainstream.
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
Mainstream.
great.
Hey, if you
good-looking.
can make it in Kansas, you can make it anywhere. Okay. All right. Anyway.
Okay, we gotta wrap up, I think.
Oh no.
I
There's
know.
so much
There's
we
so
wanna
much
talk
we
about.
we just riffed the whole time.
fun.
Do you have you have like a podcast that you do where you play different characters and stuff, right?
Yeah, I did the Nick Vatterott show, and I did that for a couple of years.
Oh,
where
okay.
Each week, Nick Vatterott isn't there, and some other character takes over the show. And now,
So who are all the characters?
oh my gosh.
Or some of your favorite ones?
The first one was a guy. It was Danny Freeman, and it was just he was.
Let's get some voices.
Yeah.
He's like, Danny Freeman, America's going down the toilet because liberal America says that swimming pools are too dangerous because their jean shorts will clog up. We can't wear jean shorts because of the liberals because it'll go into the tubes and they think it's going to break down the whole plumbing infrastructure with their lies.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, it's like Rush Limbaugh, Alex
Limbaugh,
Jones,
yeah, a little
conspiracy
bit.
theory,
Okay.
flawed logic.
So that's Freeman.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's all right. We don't have to do this.
Okay,
on
so
cue.
you did.
What is wrong with I can't think of people. I can't think of attractive people I'm attracted
We're
to.
very
I can't
distracting women.
I can't. I can only think of you three, and this is all I can think of.
Amazing.
I am going to start a new podcast soon with Nick Turner, who's very funny, and it's called Get Rich Nick. And
So which one of you is getting rich, or both of you?
exactly.
Oh.
And we want to do, and what we're doing is
It's less pressure.
each week we're trying to figure out some way to make money. And we went and donated plasma last week.
Oh my god.
And
I've done that.
you've done it.
Yeah.
I know people that did
It's-
this in college.
Yeah.
It's something I'd always heard of, but and so we went out to this place.
I worked in infectious diseases and I would use that plasma.
Did you really?
Yeah, I worked at Thermo Fisher Scientific and I was in research and development and I'd be carrying around 9 liters of like human plasma.
And
And
what
it
did you
was-
use it for?
So we made controls for other labs to test. Like, so if you're a patient and you're testing for if you have HIV, you have to have a control in the experiment with a certain amount of HIV, so that you can
Okay.
match the concentrations. So we would make those controls with like HIV, HPV, HCV, HPV,
That sounds
gonorrhea,
good.
chlamydia.
We were worried that they were using it to either for dog makeup. I just had it in my mind that they were using it for some sort of cosmetic. And then for dogs, I decided.
Dog lipstick.
Yeah, dog lipstick.
Back to
something they don't have.
hot dogs again,
Yeah,
huh?
they always,
You got a thing for dogs,
That's
huh?
a callback.
It's. I also thought that maybe they were gonna clone us.
They might.
You know, you think they
I
might?
need a clone.
I would love a clone.
Really?
I
Do
wanna-
any women in facial recommission comedy need a clone?
No,
now?
if she can just go to work and I
I
can
could
do
go to
everything
work
else,
for you, bitch, and then we can switch.
please. Somebody.
Okay.
Wouldn't you want an evil version of yourself to battle? all the time?
100%. That would be super
I
fun.
can just imagine Zara walking around with blood plasma
What? Why?
because that's what Paula View does.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you wanna switch
I
jobs?
used to. I don't do that
Okay.
anymore. I'm at
All
a
right,
computer.
Got it. Cool.
So wait, but you also have you have an album out, like the K Rock. What is it?
K Rock. So I got For Amusement Only. It's on Comedy Central Records. That's an old stand-up. It's old. It's like 40 years old.
K Rock 90Q.
Stand-up I was doing in the Catskills.
It's called krock90q.buzz.
K Rock 90Q Point Buzz. And this is a thing making fun of like FM radio stations.
Yeah.
I just especially like there's like K Rocks. You know, I always live at LA's like world famous K Rock, and it's like there's like 40 K Rocks in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Isn't it like the worst station right now? I think right now it's not doing well. In the
I think
90s,
all
I
the
think it was
radio is
hot.
not doing. I think
Yeah.
FM. This is almost a tribute to the classic age of FM. Like, you know, driving around. Now everybody's got like you listen to podcasts and you listen to Sirius XM but I mean, like I just remember like going to the pool and like driving in traffic and FM radio all summer long.
Yeah.
And the ridiculous stingers, you know, world famous.
Yeah.
The biggest antenna the law will allow. You know, like they're always like we're breaking up rules that we've made up about rock and roll, and it's got a bunch of like commercial parodies and songs and
How
stuff like
fun.
that, and that's K Rock 90Q Point Buzz. I just dropped
Cool.
that.
On Comedy
Yay.
Central Records.
This one is my own. I just kind of threw it out there.
Oh, that
That's
one's your
dope.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because I don't know. I hate labels, man.
Okay, we gotta wrap this up. We have a couple questions that we ask every guest
Oh, great.
every time.
Okay.
So we're Desi, which is South Asian, brown people from Asia, and we wanted to know if you had any favorite Desi celebrities. Who's your
I can't even
favorite?
think of any. I couldn't even think of girls I liked.
MIA, Hassan Minaj,
Priyanka
Priyanka
Chopra, Mindy
Mindy
Kaling.
Kaling,
Kumail.
Aziz, Kumail.
Kumail, who got
Kumail
slighted last
Nanjiani.
episode.
Oh, he got. Why did
Nanjiani.
he get slighted?
No, so we asked someone else, our last guest, who their favorite they see.
And he mixed up Kumail
Yeah.
and Hassan.
He started with Kumail. He was like, no, not Kumail. Hassan.
Yeah.
Can I say Kumail then?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, aren't you friends with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
started back in
accent real?
Chicago.
Because he's been here for a hella long time to still have that accent.
Yeah.
Wait, when
Does
did
it
he
go
move here?
Does
away?
he like
though?
hold on to it? I mean,
when did he move?
eventually. He moved here when he was like, I don't know. I think he moved here for college or maybe high
there's
school.
there's a certain like transition period when you're like 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah.
It really depends on like
And if you're here after that,
it's like
just
stuck.
sort
I
of.
think,
You're
and it
gonna
also
have-
depends on where you're from and the type of accent you have.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know-
our parents came over when they were 20s and they have hella accents.
I mean,
Right.
my parents came in their 20s, and I
Yeah.
mean, like it's a little bit of an accent, but it's like it's slowly fading.
What
over
we're
time.
asking is,
Yeah.
is your friend a fake ass bitch? Is
Yeah.
that what we're?
I do not believe so, but
Okay, there
but
you go,
I,
Zara.
but I'll say this:
There you
my girlfriend, she has like a southern. She's been gone from the South for so long, and she
okay.
still has like a southern twang,
Yeah.
especially on certain things she said, and so
Okay.
I don't know.
And then also we had another question, which is, do you have any dumb questions that you might think would be inappropriate to ask about Desi people? That like, but this is like a safe space, you can ask it. Like, do you have any
Oh.
like things you've always been curious about, like stereotypes and stuff?
Oh boy. I feel so on the spot right now. I should have prepared.
No pressure.
Any weird things from the one kid who was Indian in high school that you knew about?
I'm trying to think. I don't.
Do you have any weird questions about Kumail that you want to ask?
What's with that accent? No. I'm trying. I don't know.
Well, you spent time in New York, right? You probably were exposed to like a lot of Indian culture and Indian food and all of
Right.
that, right? Any weird experiences from
Um,
that? Any fun experiences?
I'm trying to think. I want to think of like a good one, or a bad one, or anyone.
Any questions about Indian food?
I feel like there's probably stuff that I just can't think of
Yeah.
right now.
That's okay.
Man. I
Ask us
don't
about other people's
know.
cultures.
Yeah,
we'll make a best
I would
guess.
ask you about Korean
Yeah.
churches. And
I'll
stuff.
answer as best as I can for the Korean people. I'm kidding.
Let's see.
Has your
here.
dad ever built a Hindu temple?
Oh, yeah.
No, he's strictly
Or a
Korean.
mosque?
He
Just
he
Korean
doesn't
churches.
wanna. He doesn't wanna.
Mess with it. Mess with the energy.
Maybe is there something? All right, I'll ask this.
Okay.
You know, like there's the thing of like, black girls don't like to have their hair touched. You know,
Oh.
or like Phoebe Robinson wrote that book or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there something like that you get so annoyed about that white people don't realize they do all the time? Like ask how you
Ask
say
where
your
we're
name.
from.
Yeah.
Where are we really
Yeah.
from?
That's
Where
the
you're
question.
really from?
So where are you from? Where are you really from?
Okay,
Yeah.
let me
Where are
ask.
your parents from?
Let me ask this. We gotta go.
Yeah, we have to wrap up.
Oh, okay. I got this name in my Uber, and all I wanted to do was ask him how to say his name, and I didn't.
Otgan Bayar?
And I didn't do it, and
You can ask how to pronounce people's names.
Yeah.
that's
just
not
get-
bad.
Yeah, I just think it's
No.
Isn't it all I hear all day long?
No, it just bothers me when people get mad at me for them not knowing how to pronounce my name. Like they'll ask it a bunch of times and then they'll keep getting it wrong, and then later they're like, "I thought it was this. Why wouldn't you tell me it was this?" And I'm like, "This is not my problem. I have other things I got to do." Okay, we really got to wrap up because we have to go.
Okay. Thank
where
you so
can-
much for
thank
having
you
me,
for
guys.
having-
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Where can we find you?
NickVatterott.com.
And that-
VATTEROTT.
Cool. And I'm Paula Viganalan. That's PALLAVIGUNALAN on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and that's my website.
And I'm Fizza Dasani, FIZAADOSANI, on Instagram and Twitter, and The Fizz on Facebook.
And I'm Zara Ali, live on all the socials. Zara is spelled ZAHRA.
And our social media for facial recognition is Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. Thank you again for being here, Nick.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Yay.
Nick.
See ya.